We've all done it. You open Netflix, pick a show everyone's talking about, turn on the subtitles in your native language, sit back on the couch with some snacks, and watch for 2 or 3 hours straight. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you tell yourself, I'm studying English right now, because technically, the characters on screen are speaking English. But let's be honest with each other for a second. By the end of that show, did you actually learn anything? Can you speak even slightly better than you could 3 hours earlier? For most people, the honest answer is no. Here's the truth nobody really tells you. Watching Netflix passively isn't language learning. It's just entertainment, dressed up as studying. And the reason is simple. Your brain, quite naturally, takes the easiest possible path. The moment subtitles in your native language appear on the screen, your eyes lock onto them, automatically. And once your eyes are reading, your ears essentially switch off. They stop actively processing the English being spoken. Because your brain is already busy doing something easier, reading in the language you already know perfectly. What you end up doing, without even realizing it, is reading a book in your native language, while English plays quietly in the background like music. If you actually want Netflix to become a real English classroom, something with genuine value, you have to change the way you watch. Not what you watch necessarily, but how today, we're going to break down exactly how to escape that passive watching trap. We'll walk through a 3-step subtitle strategy that gently pushes your brain to work harder, a simple but powerful method called pause and repeat, and finally, a clear guide for choosing the right shows for wherever you currently are in your learning journey. Let's start with the single biggest change you can make today, and that's rethinking your subtitles. Most learners assume they only have 2 choices: subtitles in their native language, or no subtitles at all. And jumping straight from your native language to 0 subtitles is genuinely too difficult for most people. It's a bit like jumping into the deep end of a pool before you know how to swim. You panic, you lose track of the story, you get frustrated, and within 5 minutes, you've given up entirely. Instead, what actually works is a gradual approach, something we can call the 3-step subtitle strategy. The first step is what we can call the transition phase, and it's ideal if your English is still at a beginner or early intermediate level. Start the episode with English audio playing, but with subtitles in your native language turned on. Here's the important part though. You're only allowed to use these subtitles for the first 10 minutes of the episode. Use that window purely to understand the characters, the setting, and the general shape of the story. Once your mind has a clear picture of what's actually happening, your brain can relax a little, and it's time to move on. The second step is the focus phase, and this is where the real learning quietly begins. Turn off your native language subtitles completely, and switch over to English subtitles instead. Now your brain has no choice but to connect the sounds you're hearing directly with the English words appearing on screen. This is incredibly effective for picking up on natural speech patterns, the way native speakers slur words together, use casual slang, and shape difficult sounds. If a word comes up that you don't recognize, resist the urge to pause immediately. Just keep watching, and try to guess its meaning from the story unfolding around it. Context will teach you far more than a dictionary ever could in that moment. The third and final step is the fluency phase. For the last stretch of the episode, maybe the final 10 minutes, turn every subtitle off completely. No native language, no English text, nothing. Just your ears and the screen in front of you. This forces your brain to rely entirely on real listening, without any visual crutch to lean on. It trains you to pick up on body language, tone of voice, and context clues. The same skills you'll need in an actual real-world conversation. By splitting a single 40-minute episode into these 3 distinct phases, you're gently pushing your brain outside its comfort zone, without ever overwhelming it completely. Now, once your subtitles are set up properly, you need something a little more active to actually build real speaking ability. That's where the pause and repeat method comes in. Think of Netflix as a personal pronunciation coach, one that never gets tired and never judges you. The actors on screen are native speakers, using real emotion, natural rhythm, and correct stress patterns, exactly the kind of speech you're trying to build yourself. While you're in that second phase, watching with English subtitles, keep an ear out for short, genuinely useful sentences. You're not looking for complicated academic vocabulary here. You're looking for the everyday conversational phrases people actually use. Things like, I see your point, give me a break. I'll get back to you. When a character says something you like, something you could actually picture yourself using, do 3 things. First, pause the video immediately. Second, look at the English subtitle on screen and read it out loud, clearly, to the room. Not a quiet whisper in your head, actually speak it. Third, imitate the actor as closely as you can. Don't just read the words flatly, like you're reading a shopping list. Try to copy their exact emotion. If the character sounds annoyed, sound annoyed. If they sound excited, let that excitement come through in your voice too. Pay attention to their rhythm, where they pause, which word they emphasize, how two words blend together when spoken quickly. You only need to do this 4 or 5 times per episode. If you stop and pause after every single sentence, watching turns into exhausting homework, and you'll lose interest fast. But picking just a handful of phrases per episode keeps the whole thing short, enjoyable, and genuinely effective. And by physically speaking these phrases out loud, you're building real muscle memory in your mouth and jaw, training your brain to produce natural-sounding English with confidence, instead of just memorizing grammar rules from a textbook that never quite translate into real conversation. Now let's talk about a mistake that trips up almost every learner at some point: choosing the wrong kind of show entirely. If you pick something like a historical drama, or a medical series full of complicated terminology, or a political thriller loaded with formal old-fashioned language, you're going to struggle. And it won't be because your English isn't good enough. It's because those shows use highly specific vocabulary that most people, even native speakers outside those fields, rarely use in everyday life. Unless you happen to be a doctor or a politician, you don't need advanced medical jargon. What you actually need is everyday, conversational English, the kind you'll use in real conversations with real people. So here's a simple way to think about choosing content based on your current level. If you're just starting out, cartoons and animated movies are genuinely excellent. Shows made for children use simple vocabulary, actors speak slowly and clearly, and most importantly, the visuals match the words almost perfectly. If a character says the word dog, you'll usually see a dog right there on screen at that exact moment. That kind of direct visual association makes learning almost effortless. If you're at an intermediate level, sitcoms are really the gold standard. Shows set in everyday situations, apartments, coffee shops, ordinary workplaces. These shows use the exact kind of casual slang, idioms, and everyday greetings you'd actually encounter if you visited an English-speaking country. And because episodes are usually short, often around 20 minutes, they're easy to finish without losing focus or getting mentally tired halfway through. And if you're already advanced and scripted shows start to feel a little too easy, try shifting toward reality television or cooking competitions, anything unscripted. In these shows, people aren't reading from a script. They speak naturally, interrupt each other mid-sentence, use incomplete or broken phrases, and bring all kinds of real-world accents into the mix. It's genuinely the closest you can get to authentic human conversation, without physically being there yourself. Netflix was never just a tool for relaxing after a long day. It's actually a massive living library of real English, sitting right there, waiting for you to use it properly. If you keep watching the same passive way you always have, your level will likely stay exactly where it is, no matter how many hours you clock in front of the screen. But if you start applying the 3-step subtitle strategy, along with the pause and repeat method, you can make genuine progress while still enjoying the shows you already love. So here's a small challenge for tonight. Open Netflix and choose a 20-minute sitcom episode. For the first 10 minutes, watch with English subtitles on. Find just 3 phrases that feel genuinely useful to you, pause the video each time, and repeat each one out loud, 3 times, trying to match the actor's voice as closely as you can. Stop being a passive viewer tonight, and start becoming an active learner instead. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.